Hi, I'm here. I'm Charlotte Bergman with Political Talk of Charlotte. I'm here to have fun with you this week and to go over some breaking news that is occurring in our nation. It is great to wake up every morning now to see what wonderful things are happening in our nation. Today we're going to discuss some rather important topics. Yes, and they are breaking news. For instance, the three major findings regarding unemployment benefit fraud that Elon Musk is so shocked about. Let's see what he's so shocked about. As he says, so crazy, he had to read it several times in order to really realize that this was indeed what was happening in our nation behind our back. I'm going to discuss also, the old saying, 2020 was a bust. Well, I'll tell you what, 2020, it's not over yet. And President Trump has ordered an investigation into the former Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, with the director Chris Krebs. I think he deserves to be called Krabs. He lied to us. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me this week. Let's get this show started. And we're back. I am Charlotte Bergman. I am the host of Political Talk of Charlotte. And thank you for joining me this week. As many of you, if you're new to the show, and many of my friends already know, this show airs every Thursday at noon Central Time, because we're located in the Mid South. There are call notes on the bottom of your screen. And if you want to reach me later, or when I discuss many of those other social media sites that this show airs on, you will be able to access them, click on them, and go directly to them. You want to reach me by email, just send me an email at charlotte@charlottebergman.com. Facebook 1, Elect Bergman, that is my fan page. Facebook 2, charlotte.bergman.9. Bitchute at Political Talk with Charlotte. Twitter at Elect Bergman. YouTube at Bergman for Congress. Twitch.com at Charlotte Bergman. I see someone has joined me. I just love this lady. She is the bomb. Noni, how are you doing? Thank you for all that you do. And there are other people too that are watching. Please click that like button and let me know that you're there and that you like what we're discussing. What happens is when you click the like button, it increases the circulation of the video so other people will be able to see it, comment. And I'm excited because many people can't join us when we are live, but they can have access to the video later. Nani, back at you. So anyway, let's get started with this show. These topics I think are crazy. These are crazy topics. I want to get started with this video to get you started. Let's have some volume here. So let me get this.
All of you that I for the last.
Okay, let's get him started all over again. Can you see this? I don't know if you can see it. And he's still talking. Hey, dude, I'm not ready for you to talk yet.
If all this stuff wasn't being exposed, we wouldn't have been able to imagine how terrible things are. I'm sorry to all of you that I, for the last 6.5 decades, have not really been paying attention. I apologize like crazy because my negligence has afforded this, and I realize there's a whole lot of people who weren't paying attention. But I'm saying, look, if I could go back, I would do things way different. Right now, I realize that, and I might be promoting myself, I'm nothing more than a doormat. And I've always been a doormat to these people, these corrupt people. All they wanted for me to do was just join the vortex of the pseudo slavery that they had us in, where we were all part of this thing, listen to thinking we could own stuff and be happy and all.
I just love to see people waking up. I hope you guys were able to see that. If you weren't, I apologize. But this was a guy that was actually testifying that he just hadn't been paying attention. I want you guys to know I spent not one, not two, not five, six, nor 6.5, but 7 hours in the DMV. Why? Just to get a start on my license so that I can travel, so I can fly, so I can go into federal buildings. 7 hours. If any of you are out there who are tired of what is occurring in our DMV, let me know. I'm going to fight to make sure that they work harder to make sure that they address our issues. So anyway, this guy was talking about how he has not been paying attention. While I was at the DMV, I was sitting next to a young lady, and she was able to talk about a lot of stuff. She was actually able to tell, well, people don't have jobs, but that's President Trump's fault, which that told me immediately she didn't know what was going on. She's just listening to the local media. So when I got a chance to really explain to her what was going on, she was just really shocked. Her interests are more along the lines of caring for her family. And that's what's happening with a lot of people. But I'm here to tell you guys, you did a terrific job on November the 5th, but you can't sit down again. You cannot sit down. You've got to get up. You got to keep fighting, because President Trump needs us to work to make this country great again. Doge is busily at work. We can't let them down. So anyway, I want to share with you all a little bit of the discovery from Doge. Okay. And many of you already know this. You know about the fraud that is within the United States government. And it is so rampant that it's leaving Elon Musk in shock. On Wednesday, yesterday, the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, announced its finding from an initial survey of unemployment insurance claims since 2020. And many of you have seen that chart that is going around out there. This is something that should send hundreds and thousands of people to jail, not just the congressional members that are involved in this, but people who work for them in the government to hide what was going on. According to this article, you guys, I found it hard to believe, but that just shows how much faster they're trying to bankrupt us. They've been trying to bankrupt us and pocket the money for themselves. 24,500 people under 115 years old claim I'm sorry, my bad. Over 115 years old claim $59 million in benefits. $59 million in benefits. I've been involved in this political arena for years, and for years, even back when I actually started going to Washington, D.C. and interacting with our members, it was always well known that Social Security was going to be bankrupt. Yet this Biden administration didn't care. You didn't care. There were 24,500 people over 115 years old, which claimed $59 million in benefits. 28,000 people under the age of five Even 9-month-old babies claim $254 million in benefits. That's ridiculous. 9,700 people with birth dates over 15 years in the future, over 15 years in the future, claim $69 million in benefits. And in one case, a person with a birthday in oh my gosh, 2154 claimed $41,000 in benefits. Now, this is 2025. So this one person claimed a birthday in 2154. Could that have been a typo? I don't know. But somebody in that age bracket received $41,000 in benefits. You think about all of these people that are suffering, poor people, and you got this fraud that is going on. It's got to stop. President Trump has been promising us since he was inaugurated in January that they're going to stop it. Pam Bundy, Cash Patel, and all of the people underneath them, it's time for them to get to work. And what I'm hearing is we don't see any action going on, but I'm hearing that things are going on. And every day you do hear about somebody who has been fired. It's because they're having to go in like with a fine-tooth comb and get those people who can actually make changes to the system as the DOJ actually bring up charges on these people. Guys, I love you so much and I appreciate you. Please comment and share my videos. My book, The Last Trumpet in the Battle for America, it's still out there and it's on sale. Whoa! Whoa! Doge does make those 3 major findings regarding unemployment benefits, including the discovery, as I said earlier, that left Elon Musk shocked. And as I read to you, the unemployment insurance claims, I was in shock. 24,500 people over 115 years old claimed $59 million in benefits. 28,000 people under the age of 5 claimed $254 million in benefits. Some people are getting rich, and I can't wait until I see some perk walks. Now, 2020 is not over yet, and I'm talking about the election. President Trump has now ordered an investigation into former Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency Director Chris Krebs over his work during his first term in the White House. He needs to be held accountable. He signed an order revoking Chris Krebs' security clearance and has directed the DOJ to investigate him for his role in the stolen 2020 election. I'm hearing they have over 15 ways to cheat, and they were expecting to cheat in this last 2024 election. As a matter of fact, Kamala Harris, from what I understand, was so confident that she was going to win, they went and started opening bank accounts for the transition team. And they felt so overconfident they had smirks on their faces. So Krebs was the former head of CISA, which is the organization that was supposed to make sure our elections were secure, cybersecurity and infrastructure security. He didn't do his job. I remember seeing him on television talking all the time. This is the most secure election in this whole ever. And even in Tennessee, in the state of Tennessee, where we are now, the Heritage Foundation has said we are the #1 state with honest elections. You guys are going to find out that is not true. Okay. Chris said it was the most secure election in American history. He said it over and over again. This is the most securest election in American history. He said this is the safest election we've ever had, and yet every day you read in the papers about more and more fraud that's discovered. He's the fraud. He's a disgrace. So we're going to find out whether or not it was a safe election, and it wasn't. He's got a big price to pay because it wasn't. This is absolutely, absolutely massive. President Trump is now about to investigate him. And we won't have a show next week because I'm suing the Shelby County Election Commission. Ronald Reagan says to trust but verify. And this Shelby County election felt that it was imperative and their responsibility to keep people from finding out the details about what the election results were. And they're doing that because they're holding back certain documents that would give people an opportunity to say, well, it was a secure election, but as long as they are covering up and preventing people from seeing what's under the hood, they're going to have these problems. So we're going to court next week, and we'll be in court this time next week, next Thursday. Keep us in your prayer. Breaking news. The House has passed a bill to limit district court judges who exceed their authority and issue orders blocking our president's policies nationwide. And not only do they block President Trump, they block even Democrat. They block even some of the things that Joe Biden did. The Republican judges. This stuff has got to stop, and Congress addressed it, and there was a vote in the House, and the vote passed. The vote passed. So therefore, they're going to start looking into this to get these judges to do the right thing. Also, we've got a situation whereby in the House, I think that bill was H.R. 1526. H.R. 1526. It did pass yesterday. It passed in the House. But we had one member on the Republican side who did not vote. I believe some of these Republicans are refusing to tell how they're going to vote, and that gets the media in an uproar. So the final passage was 218 Republicans with one not voting, 212. Oh, we had 214. So we had two Republicans who voted nay on the bill. They wanted the district judges to continue to block what the American people wanted passed. They wanted the judges to continue to act outside of their ability to stop the president's agenda. Inflation in the United States is now at 2.4%. Guys, that's lower than what was expected. 2.4%. It was really almost up to 17% when Joe Biden was there. It's gone down to 2.4%. And many of the illegal aliens are self-deporting. Tell me what you see when you go shopping at Walmart and various stores. See if it's overrun with people who are illegals. The European Commission is pausing its countermeasures to respond to the U.S. tariffs for 90 days. Now, here's what's happening. A lot of people are out there, especially liberals. Liberals are saying, President Trump blinked. Guys, you don't know anything about economics. many foreign countries came to the president to work with the president to address how they're going to work with the United States to reduce the tariffs on American products that are coming into America. Well, after these foreign leaders made their decision to reduce the amount of tariffs on their products coming to the United States, it's going to take time for our American systems to be set up in order to automatically have that data. I mean, that they got to track it. They got to create a system to track to make sure that the tariffs are being allocated and the tariffs are the money is coming into the United States because we're going to get some money out of this. The US dollar reaches its strongest level against the Chinese yuan since 2007. Shocking corruption being uncovered by the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, that has Washington elites in absolute panic mode. What DOGE is finding isn't just wasteful spending. Guys, what DOGE is finding is organized theft. Organized theft on a scale that's going to make your blood boil. And I want to get to something that Caroline Levitt, it's not really an official survey, but Caroline Levitt says the president wants to know, how do you feel about one-day voting with voter ID, with paper ballots, proof of citizenship, in person or no mass mail-in. I mean, it's absent, but there are going to be opportunities for absentee voting for the military, the disabled, and the verified inability to be at polling places. Typically, people that are over their 60s or something like that. There are going to be votes conducted in smaller precincts. I think voting day should be a national holiday, and the results should be in by 9 p.m. And the winners should be announced by midnight. And the last thing I want to talk about is, with all of these tariff issues, the Democrats are going crazy. And all they want to do is make President Trump look like an idiot. He did not blink. He actually accomplished what he set out to do. And the war is on between the United States and China is not going to give up that easily. But China now wants to negotiate because they know they're going to lose their businesses. Those businesses that are over there that are not going to want to pay 125% in tariffs, they're going to come home and build their products in the United States. And that's all President Trump wanted to do. In the interim, we will be getting money. The United States will be getting money from all of these countries. Okay, but what the Democrats are doing, they are acting like chihuahuas. They are upset. They're lying. You see a Democrat talking many times, it's a matter of them opening their mouths. And especially when it comes to President Trump, they don't want to give him credit for anything. You guys have heard Chuck Schumer in these last few days talk about how truly bad the tariffs are. Well, what about Chuck Schumer, say 7 years ago when Barack Obama was president? Let's hear what Chuck Schumer had to say during that time. Because, this is truly hypocritical, but it's all about making sure that President Trump does not get credit. Because they know if President Trump get credit, they won't be reelected. Let's hear what Chucky has to say.
I believe that the president's instincts to go after China are the right thing to do. I think China has taken terrible advantage of America over.
Oh, yeah, you heard that right. You heard that right. This is what Chuck had to say. Let's play that over because I don't want you to miss what Chuck said.
The president's instincts to go after China.
Okay,
I believe that
the president and he's talking about is not Donald J. Trump. It is Barack Obama.
the president's instincts to go after China are the right thing to do. I think China has taken terrible advantage of America over the last decade or two, and they don't play fair. The trouble, we don't know what the details will be, so I don't want to make any final comment, but it seems initially it's not well targeted. It seems to have a greater negative effect on Canada and Europe than on China. So they ought to make sure what they do is focused on China. They are our number one trade problem, not Canada, not Europe.
Okay, it seems like with what President Trump did to halt the terrorists for 90 days is to actually focus on China. And China now has to contend with that 125% tariff on products that are coming into the United States. Let's see who's going to win. Because see, most of the products that China gets come from other places. And then you have other countries that are saying, hey, if China don't want to play balls, we can do it better than China. And many of these other countries are wanting to play in the field with the big dogs. China is screwing itself up, but that's okay because we're going to win in the end because we live in the greatest country on this earth. It is called the United States of America. And we have a leader who is now able and willing to fight for the average person on the streets. Exciting day today. The House passed the budget resolution. It will now go to a conference committee where you will have you will have senators and you will have House members hashing out the differences so that that bill can be pushed up to the president. And what's going to encompass is going to benefit the military. It's going to benefit seniors. There are no cuts to Social Security, to Medicare, to Medicaid. Don't believe that lie that Democrats tell you. Also, it's definitely money that is going to be used to secure our borders. And it's going to be money that is going to be used eventually to help us not pay taxes anymore because terrorists are going to finance the United States. So I'm excited. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Also, I'm not sure, but I think they passed the SAVE Act today. Let me check that. Because if that's true, boy, we're going to have some truth. We're going to, whoa, yes, the House passed a bill requiring proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. The SAVE Act was passed. Democrats actually continue to fight for illegals, and the Republicans are fighting for Americans. Now the Senate is going to need to pass it, and then after that, it's going to head to the president's desk for his signature. They're going to be, there's a requirement for proof of citizenship to register to vote in federal elections. After the 7 hours that I had to sit in the DMV, that's difficult. It is not easy to prove that you are an American, but I did it because I am indeed an American. And we want to encourage our president to make sure that many of those initiatives, one day voting, only citizens vote in our election, voting holiday, we need honest elections. You all pray for me as okay. Yeah, I've got a meeting. I'm going to be in court next Thursday. So there will not be a show next Thursday. But I wake up every morning and I can hug myself because I am so happy to be in America and to be an American. I love you guys. Thanks for joining me. And you guys have a great weekend. And I'll talk to you in about a couple of weeks.